Live, but now we're live.
Now we're live.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, we did it. We did it in perfect synchronicity. So, hello everyone. Welcome to this the secret map to the Symphony Road. So, my name is Katrina, and this is Gaia, and we're gonna take you down a little ways into this secret map and road. And I would like to start by saying, if you're brand new here, that there are so many different classes in Access Consciousness, and all of them have abbreviations. So that's one of the first steps to the secret map, is to get the abbreviations interpreted so you actually know what all these like letter combinations mean. And the second part is knowing that that map that will lead you to the symphony and the Symphony of Possibilities class is not linear. Even though it may seem a little linear today when we introduce the different classes, you're going to go on your own journey. You're going to hit on, maybe you'll go all the way to the symphony, or you'll take a zillion detours. And those detours are then exactly your secret path to the symphony. So there is no right way to do this, and there is no wrong way to do this. And sometimes it can be helpful to get some of the road signs on the way. And Gaia, you work with all events, so you're very aware of this like multitude of roads that lead everywhere.
Yes, and thank you. I mean, for me, it's the amazing introduction because with everything you say, you have embarked me as well, like of like checking my own, like my own secret map, and now I'm and seeing that I'm still on that secret map, and now I just like I went forward in my own secret map, and I'm so happy that we get to share a little like advices, like maybe check out over there, but you also need to follow what works for you. Anyway, it's very excited and fun to be embarking on this secret map. So let's go.
And I just, again, when you were talking, so it's so, because the symphony of possibilities means that there is a whole symphony of possibilities. And the key to that is that, like we're saying, like, so, this is actually not a set symphony. It's a symphony where you follow what you know and you follow the energy. And the symphony of possibilities, that energy is in all of us. Like we have access to it. What happens when you start on this journey to learn more about the Symphony of Possibilities, and you get a whole series of tools that allows you to tap in deeper to the symphony and to learn how to navigate your life in an energetic sense, and learn how to use all these energies to actually change the world around you and to contribute more space, more possibilities to the people that you play and contribute to. So, yeah, let's start with the first one. What is the very first thing in the very first stop kind of on this journey to the symphony and really into the whole world of consciousness? Well, it is. Here it comes, it comes, it comes. Oh, wait. I never know with StreamYard. Is it visible? Oh, yeah,
Good. It's good like this.
it is
Bars.
bars. So, Guy, what is bars? Access bars. What is that?
Well, access bars is how to describe it. It's always like this magical tool that, well, you use your magical fingers to put them on a magical head, and you have those different points that you're going to put on the head of someone. And this will create what it has to create, like what you are ready to let go of or choose different. I mean, when you said earlier, what is the first step, I was like, the first step is desiring something greater. The first step is also like having what we will then look at, a question, but having this like there must be something else possible in this world that what I currently know, or maybe there's something just like even bigger. So it could also be like, I'm so stressed, and I know life is not supposed to be stressful, but I don't know how else like to be able to live my life because this is what I see all around me. So this is these tools to create more magic and more invite more possibilities in our life. So that will be my beginning of that description. And Katarina, what else do you have with?
No, that's a great description. And access bars is really about learning how to receive. And
Mm,
so
step
for
one,
us,
big step one, receiving.
step
Yeah.
one for any kind of stepping into consciousness or the symphony of possibilities is actually learning how to receive, because we're not taught to receive. We're taught that everything in this reality is transactional, like you give this and then you get that because you gave that. Like it's a very linear way of functioning in reality. Well, receiving is actually a simultaneity of gifting and receiving. So one of the most amazing part of access bars is that that's a process that when you gift it to somebody, which is different points on the head that you lightly put your fingers on, and when you do that, you actually receive a session as well. So it's like in itself, that process that you learn in an access bars class is to learn how to receive and really learn how gifting and receiving is simultaneous. So, step one, we have a lot of steps. So, already after step one, you can actually test the symphony a little deeper because you can come. I'm just trying to think if this is correct. Yes, you can come to, can you see it? Introducing.
The symphony.
You can come to an introducing the symphony class already after bars. And this class is an intro class that is done by symphony advanced practitioners, and they exist all over the world. It's an evening or an afternoon where you get to actually gift and receive what we call symphony sessions. And Gaia, what is that like? Just for an introductory class, what happens?
Well, so you arrive in the room. Most of the time, that's how it happens. You are in the room where you see a lot of different people, probably also wondering, like, what is going to happen now. And we get to, like, one person lies down on the massage table, and the person, oh God, sorry, there's like a ringing. and so and you get to start experiencing what is this symphony of possibilities. That's what we do, right, Katarina? In the introduction, you get to like already like
Yeah.
you're like, how come I you already can like start practicing it. It's not just like a lesson. You actually get to practice and discover and experience what it is from where you are. And like Katarina, you were saying at the beginning, like this is something we have in us, and we just need to get more aware of it, and like acknowledge even more this capacity that we have with this energy. And you know what? That reminds me actually my first, I think, introduction to the symphony, where I was like, I was 20 years old, something like this, and I was like, I am dancing with the energies. I didn't know that something we could do, but I'm dancing with all the energy around me and the people around me. So you get to already discover this. That what happens.
And that is actually, I just want to add to that. That was beautiful because one of the things that is so striking about getting to go to and introducing the symphony taster so early is the sense of empowering people to actually know that they know energy.
Yeah.
They know energy. You know energy. All of us know energy. And that is that. So we have receiving and then we go to empowering. So yeah, so already after bars you can try out the symphony, and that's just a taste. That's like a beginning, a taste of this energy of the symphonies, energies of you, and the language of energy that you actually already know and just are getting more acquainted with. And then your next step on this particular journey that could look different. Ooh, that wasn't me, right? That was you.
Sorry, it
Okay.
seems that it's my calling time. Like
So
they're aware of the symphony.
you're
Like
ready.
what else? Go for it.
Yes,
Sorry.
that's what the universe goes. And here's one thing you could do after. Can you see it?
Foundation.
Yes, because now you've done bars, you played a little with the symphony, and the next step, the really like key step is foundation. So what's foundation, Gaia? Like,
Foundation.
it's a test. You didn't know this, but really, I called Gaia on here to make sure that she knows all the different classes of access consciousness, and that she
Okay.
knows what they
Very
actually
nice. Can I call a friend now? No kidding. You know? Foundation. Well, now so you had the bars one day. You had the introduction, can be in evening and afternoon, and now you are jumping into 3 days and a half of class. So the foundation is like when you have the bars, the introduction of symphony foundation. I think you have the whole platform, the whole basic to be able to create your life completely. Not from what you've like, not from what we've been conditioned to, what we think, with the point of views, the judgment. You actually get into, now I get to create my life with the point of views I desire, with what I desire to create the future to be. So this is what's happening with foundation class. I mean, it's like it's called the foundation because they are destroying your old foundation that you don't want anymore to create new foundations. So that's it.
brilliant. You passed.
Ah,
You
thank
did
you.
this. Oh my God. So we do have a little further. So into this like road. So here you go. You get like receiving, empowerment. You get a whole new foundation to navigate and create your life and reality with. And now you dive in deeper into this energy. So now you get to a class, whoops, that's called.
ESP. So we are getting now to the shorter version of the, like, the titles of classes that now we're getting shorter just because we like short as well. So
Well,
what
because
is
class
ESP?
names are now longer, so we had to make them shorter. This is the logic of everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. So sorry, Gaia, go on.
No, that's this. And so ESB means energetic synthesis of being.
I just had to say that because it's so pretty when you say it in French. It's can you say it again?
La synthèse énergétique d'être. Oh no, sorry, that was the French version. So energetic synthesis of being.
And this is really one of it was the class basically where the symphony came out of. So energetic synthesis of being, which she says so much prettier,
No,
is
you're very
a class.
welcome.
It's a class that Dane here created many years ago. It is based on the energetic modality of change that he created, where he started to work with people's energies, the energies of the universe, the change that's possible in the world. And he started to give private sessions that was called energetic synthesis of being sessions. And then they became group sessions, and finally he was ready to start facilitating a class. And one of the things he said in the beginning was that he thought he could teach everyone this in an evening. So he tried. It was a very long evening, and then he realized that it actually had to be a class. So it it started and still is a 3-day class that he's been facilitating now for a very long time. And it the target of the class is really to give people the energetic platform to function from and to create their life and future from. So it's really it's built on the foundation that we just talked about, that class, and then you come to this energetic platform to create your life from. And this class in the beginning was the only class that really had the Symphony of Possibilities. Didn't even exist. We're going to tell you how it came about a little later, but it didn't even exist yet. It really was this was the energetic beginnings of all of that. So that class is still around. It's still really required. Dane, once you tried to take it away, he thought that the Symphony of Possibilities class would just take over and be the replacement of ESP. But there is
Nope.
such that that platform that kind of like you need that as a base to be able to really explore these energies that we started to talk about, like to really get into them, to play with them. You need a platform to stand on, like something where you actually can,
Hmm.
I would say, navigate from when you start to
Like
explore something
giving
that's so outside.
it's a bit like
Yes, go.
giving to the no, no, but I'd like I just wanted to remind you said because like it's a bit like giving to the being the preparation of then playing to even a greater field on the Symphony of Possibilities like playground. It just kind of give you like this preparation, but on a energetic level. So that's
Oh,
kind of what
it's
I said. I got that.
brilliant. So we have bars with receiving, and then we have the introducing the symphony, which creates you empowering you to know that you know energy, and then we have foundation that gives you a whole new way to function in this reality in the way that you never even expected possible. And then in the ESB, you actually start to get access and start to know being and the energies of being. So
Mm.
yes. And then after the ESP. This we told you this is a big map, and we're only describing one little path, but this path is possible. You are all welcome to walk it, take
Many,
it.
many, many, many brave people have done it their own ways, but they have found the map and they have found the little like different ways. So yes.
And for some, it like is really fast, and for some, it takes years. Like, and neither is better. Just pointing that out. Like you have your own rhythm. You are choosing the path, the speed, the flow of your life. Anyway, after the ESB, you can come and explore. Ooh, what does it say here?
It says the
Oh,
opening of the symphony. So now we are getting to the opening.
we're opening up the symphony. So this is the class that actually prepares you. This is the class where you get open up for the longer Symphony of Possibilities class with Dr. Dane here. And this particular class is actually quite recently added. So it used to be um, that we had SOP, and that was the only symphony class around. But Dane would like to have actually people be a bit even further along so that he can take them further in the 3-day Symphony of Possibilities class. So this opening of the symphony class was added to open people up for the energies, for the ways of working, for all the things that they're actually already ready to receive after the ESB. And it's facilitated by Anthony Mattis, and you can take it both online and you can take it in person all over the world. Um, and Gaia, what do you want to add to that?
Would love to add so because I got to then do this secret map in a different way because when I did my first, Symphony of Possibility classes, the opening of Symphony did not exist yet. So
Mm.
I got to do it reversed. Like then like recently I've attended some opening of Symphony class and I I'm so happy they are there because I have learned many many more things like with Anthony you really I mean at least me with him I got to ask all the questions I never dared to ask before
Mm.
like even the one that I found maybe were like so when this happened what can I do here and he has his way of like showing to you like how you got this and like and just like expand the knowing you already have so it's been so amazing to get to play in this class and like that. I just wanted to add this on this part, but yeah.
No, and it's brilliant because it also leads to two things. One, we receive things from different people in different ways. So it's
Hmm.
very similar. We have a lot of classes in Access that are facilitated by several people. We're going to get to another one in a moment. So sometimes you have an easier time asking a question from one facilitator than from another one. And then the next time it's the opposite way around. You hear things differently from different people. They have different energies, your vibrations and your frequencies connect in different ways. So this is also where this map is not linear and it's not tied to specific people because it really is you who know what you require. And secondly, look at the way that Gaia went backwards on the map is also something that is so amazing and that we notice so much. A lot of people take foundation so many times. It is not something you check off. And that's one of the weirder part where access is very different than other things in this reality, because the classes change all the time. The way we facilitate change all the time. Consciousness becomes bigger, new areas open up, new ways of getting to possibilities open up. So even though it seems like we have this checklist and you go there, and then you end up in the Symphony of Possibilities class, it really isn't like that. You may go bars, foundation, ESP, foundation, ESP, opening of the symphony, bars. So this is where we're saying that the map is a little,
The map
little
is
more chaotic than you can imagine. And in what you were saying with Anthony, and since you'd already taken the SPA, I think that's an experience a lot of people have, that finally they can find those questions that they may not have been able to find when they did the class the first time, or when they did the class with Dane, or when. So this is also where you need to follow your knowing, and that class is available for you to explore after the ESP. Okay. God, we're nearly there. But we do have one more class that you have to take before you can take the Symphony of Possibilities class. So, opening of the symphony, you got that. And now, before you take the Symphony of Possibilities class, you need to take this class.
let me guess. Choice A C
Oh,
F
oh, I
P.
did it.
What?
Yeah, I did it right. I did it right. Yes,
Oh, you
choice.
did great. You did great. I was just guessing that the C would be for choice.
Yes.
I'm just passing the test. So the F could be for well, for choice four. That was good. And the P, I will try possibilities. Is that
Yes.
right? Ah,
So the choice for possibilities class, you can actually take that straight after foundation. You don't need to go this. It is available straight after foundation. We just, again, this map is so not linear. So, and you do require it before the SOP, and you could have taken it earlier. You could have taken foundation, CFP, SB opening, right? Just to confuse you all. This is part of the chaos that's introduced. And the CFP, the Choice for Possibilities, is an amazing class where you actually get access to choice, the source of living. And again, if you look at like receiving with bars, empowerment, and then you have being, and then you have opening up of the symphony energies and choice. And choice is such a crucial part of actually getting to possibilities. So in this class,
mm,
it's one of the core classes of consciousness and how you access and start to create your life in a whole different way. And it's facilitated by several facilitators: Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, by Dane Here, by Simone Milasas, by Kalpana, and I can't say her last name. Oh, sorry, can you say it?
yes, in a second. It's
She has the most beautiful last name, but I know you all get to remember it.
Kalpana Raghuraman.
Thank you. And then Grace Douglas. So you have all these people that facilitate the choice for possibilities all over the world, and it's live and online. But it is such a class that is so essential that it's required before you step into the choice. Oh, sorry, the symphony. That we're like so the Symphony of Possibilities with Dane, because the choice is actually part of what is required to play with the whole Symphony of Possibilities.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to add about the CFP? Now
Uh,
my brain is getting scrambled with all the abbreviations. Yes.
I think I just want to add also the amazing manual that the Choice for
Oh,
Possibility has. Like this manual, I mean, after the foundation, obviously, but like completely changed my life. I was actually at the Choice for Possibilities in Vienna, where I'm going next week, by the way. I'm going in a few days in Vienna for advanced body class with Dane here. Okay, this is another class. ABC will talk on another Facebook Live. But so I had my first Choice for Possibilities class there. And I remember Gary being like, please read the manual, please read the manual. But the class was so phenomenal that I was like, but I'm good, you know. And then one night I'm like, okay, this is the last evening before, you know, like before I leave, I'm going to read the manual, or at least the first pages. And I read the manual until 5 a.m. And I was like, this completely changed all of my vision about choosing, about choice, about possibilities, about like going beyond any limitation that I didn't even think I had. So it was just phenomenal. So I did want to add this special note about the manual there. Mm.
No, that's brilliant. And a lot of like as Gaia mentioned, the bars class has a really amazing manual where you get so much information already in that 1 day class. The first class, the foundation has a amazing manual that you get access to. The ESP class, oh, all of them actually have manuals, but the ESP class has a whole little book called How the Universe Actually Works. The Symphony has the Symphony workbook. So, but the CFP manual is really one of those like where you go, oh, that I didn't even think I could ask about that, and that's in there. So I just want to, before we go to the Symphony of Possibilities, I want to point out that during this live, because we've been mentioning all these different classes, and each of the classes has an energy. Every single class has an energy, and any of you are on listening, you're aware of those energies. And even if you haven't been to the class, you're actually aware of the energy anyway. So those energies of each and every class, and actually of each and every person who's been to a class or are considering going to that class in the future, those are also a symphony of energies. Like they're coming, they're moving, they're vibrating. So just that, like, be aware. If you're aware of any of the energies of this call, that is you being aware of the energy, of the possibilities, of the choices, of the consciousness of each of these classes. And we're actually at this here. Now we arrived at the
SOP. So
Symphony
this,
of Possibilities class.
here
And
we are.
here we go, here we go, here we are, here we go. In this class, as we mentioned before, came from the ESP class. And Dane, he was at a, I've told this story many times before, so if you heard it, and Dane's told it too. But if you haven't heard it, open your ears.
Or maybe you
So,
hear it completely different today.
and yeah, maybe you'll hear it in completely different ways. So anyway, so he was sitting at this musical in New York, and it was called Once. It's actually a really beautiful musical that you should see if you haven't. It's also a movie. Anyway, he was sitting there watching this musical, enjoying it, and suddenly he started to see the notes of the music in front of him, kind of like, like the Matrix, but in many, many, many different layers, just floating like this in front of him. And he got this awareness that all the energies, everything we are, all our lives, the universe, it's a symphony. It's a symphony of possibilities. And it is a symphony that we are here to play with, that we are here to explore and use and invite each other to. So he took that awareness, and he had already started to show people how to facilitate sessions in the ESP class. So he said, okay, I'm going to start a class called the Symphony of Possibilities, and I'm going to show people how to facilitate symphony sessions, Symphony of Possibility sessions. So that was the very beginning. And at that time, he took away the ESP class and went, okay, we don't need that anymore. We're just going to do the Symphony of Possibilities. And in the beginning, it was kind of weird. The first class was very strange, and nobody really knew what instrument to play or how to play it, or even when to play it. So it was very like in the birth, at the beginning of something. And he did actually bring the ESP back, like I mentioned, because we do require that platform of being, as Gaia put it, which was brilliant, our energetic being. And then the class, over the years, more and more people have learned to facilitate symphony sessions. More and more people have facilitated symphony sessions in classes, in the opening of the symphony classes, in the introducing of the symphony classes, and in the Symphony of Possibilities classes. And in that, this energy is becoming more and more accessible and available all over the world. And this is one of the most magical things that occurs with everything we do, with bars, with body processes that we haven't talked about here, with the different processes that we get to in access, with the different awarenesses we get to in access. The more people use it, the more people play with it and explore it, the more accessible and available it becomes to everyone. So today, the Symphony of Possibilities classes, the opening classes, the introducing the classes, they're much, much faster. Where before it would take a few days before people could tap into this energy and start moving it and play with it. Today, it's like they start and there it is. There it is to explore and expand and tap into. So in the Symphony of Possibilities class, you actually become a symphony practitioner and you get to go out and facilitate symphony sessions, your own symphony sessions, both online and in person with people. And you become a symphony practitioner also from the opening of the symphony live class. So there are two ways to become a symphony practitioner. And this is also something that we have hundreds of symphony practitioners at this point, maybe even thousands.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's something that is spreading all over the world. That people are realizing that they can actually change and choose and create their lives in their world from and with energy.
Mm.
So, what was it like the first time you took a symphony class, Symphony of Possibilities class, since that was the first one you took, Gaia?
Well, talking about the different maps, actually, like I didn't know that ESB was was the class before. So when I went to ESB, I thought I was going to SOP, and then surprise, it wasn't SOP.
Because you didn't have this amazing map,
No, no one gave me.
discussion. Yeah.
But, I did want to say to everyone maybe listening and wondering, okay, so like that's a big map. Like I didn't know the map, and we all like once again we all find our ways. Like honest, I don't even know how I did, but this is probably the magic also of the symphony, and also this is actually the symphony. The symphony, if you ask, is showing you the way, and I didn't follow it probably with my head. I thought I was like, okay, ESB, it's probably SOP. I don't know. Like I think this is where you get to like do this thing where you have your hands up and like I don't know. And then I was like, okay, it's not what I thought, and I was like, but I now my brain like cognitively can understand why I that was like first this, and so yeah, my first SOP. Oh my god, it was I don't know. I still have a picture of it where I can see myself like this, and where I was just like I don't know, discovering something that was just phenomenal to discover, and I cannot imagine my life without, but I always had it with me. That's what we say when we always know, but finally someone was showing me that it's something that you can use daily. And earlier when you're talking, thank you for the story, because I actually heard something different. I was like, like shh, like if you listen, maybe you get to start to hear the symphony. And when
Mm.
you talked about like then being dancing, I'm like, so now maybe everyone can have a look of like look at the note that you be, and now maybe you have someone that is close to you, look at the symphony that is being created by having that other person next to you, and etc. So I don't know if it talks to anyone, but like let's start hearing or like how do you say perceiving the symphony that we are playing constantly. Like it's not only when you are like giving a session, it becomes like just part of your living every day, every second.
Well,
Mm.
and that's beautiful because we're also choosing what chord, what tone, what chord, what frequency we are being continuously. And as you say, that creates something with the person you're beside, or the group you're with, or the work you're at, or the class, the family, like all the different ways we interact with other people and things in the world. Like the chord, the frequency, the tone we're choosing to be will create something with what we interact with all the time. Energy, everything is energy. So everything will interact with that symphony of energies that you're being, and you get to choose. You get to choose what you be, and you get to choose to receive from the symphony continuously. And again, this empowering, I think it's such a big thing with this, is that consciousness really is includes everything and judges nothing. And when you start to use the tools of consciousness, when you start to play with the symphony of possibilities, you actually get empowered to take charge of your life. And I think that's like, it empowers you to know that you know. And
And that
from
is
there, create
freedom.
anything.
Yeah, freedom
Mhm.
that you get. Totally. And hey, Katarina, so I'm curious because I want to ask you the same question because I've known you since I've like discovered my first access class, I think. So
So
what
old.
not all, like you're more like, like how do you say, like you showed, you actually showed me part of this like secret map. So I'm wondering, what was it for you? Like the first time you discovered like the symphony?
Ah, the Access or the symphony? Well, the very first time I probably discovered the symphony was probably when I had my very first session with Dane, and because that was such a dynamic experience. So I spent most of my life thinking that everything I was in my head. And I was really like this mind on legs. And I thought that everything was valuable about me was what I could think, figure out, compute, and maybe that I was a little bit funny. That was like the things that I thought was valuable about me at the time. And I had booked this session with Dane, and I thought the session was about all the different problems that I had decided I had that he could possibly resolve, which I'm sure that none of you on here ever think that when you're going to go and have a session with somebody, they're going to resolve your problems. So we had a conversation before the session started that was probably more problem focused, because that's where I wanted to go. And then I got to lay down on the table, and what Dane does is called energetic synthesis of being. It is his very unique take on the Symphony of Possibilities. So if you look at like the Symphony of Possibilities is a way of working with all these energies that are available in the world, and his way of doing that is called the energetic synthesis of being. So for me, I, for the first time in my life, really realized, even though I kind of knew it from other modalities before, that I was energy. I wasn't just this physical form. I was something very, very, very different. And the amount of energy that went through my body and what it awakened in me that I hadn't even realized was there was so different from anything I could ever imagine. So it was one of those times where you receive something that you can't even like pre-think or presume was possible. I couldn't even find a good word for that, but anyway, something I didn't expect at all or couldn't even imagine. And I remember there's these sessions when they're on tables, you usually start with your head down and then you flip around and then you get a session the other way. And I remember the second part of the session was took me even further into this space of the universe that I think somewhere within me I had known existed, but didn't really believe. Like there was something very, very familiar, nearly at coming home with the second part of the session. And once it was over, I looked up at Dane and I knew that my whole life had changed because I had gotten access to something I
Hmm.
probably always looked for, but had no idea where, how, or even to ask for. And then I went out from that session and it took a bus 2 hours the wrong way before I realized I was like going away from the place, the Stockholm that I was trying to get to instead, because I didn't really recalibrate into this reality straight away. And it was great because it makes me always remember how much space you can be after a session that is part of this new space that you be, this new possibility that you be, that really is so different that you can't immediately reform, re-solidify, restructure yourself. So for me, the Symphony of Possibilities is really a continued exploration of that space, that first space that I got access to in that session. And so it doesn't matter if I receive a session or if I facilitate a session, I am still expanding, exploring, deepening, widening that space that I now have a sense is more real and more home, but not in the way you would think
Mm.
than
No, but
what
when you
I
say,
had learned.
yeah, sorry, no, no, I was going to say when you say
No,
that, I hear the home of being, and like, and when you were also speaking about the session, like this home of being, like, and then you get to discover it. It's like this home is immense, and you are discovering all the little like different corners, or like the outside, the inside. So thank you. You actually, by just giving your session, you actually also took me to my home of being. So thanks. Mm.
thank you. For me too. And maybe for somebody listening as well. Okay, I think that's probably that was a very long winding road map. So hopefully this has been helpful for some of you. And again, I just want to really say, like Gaia said, the symphony consciousness, it has your back. You know what you require, what class you require, what session you require. You know when, and you know where, with what facilitators. Just keep asking, and this take a first step. If you find this, if it makes you curious in any way, take a first step. Maybe take a bars class and begin there. And if you've already taken a bars class, maybe consider taking another class and explore. And like you always know, and you can always ask us. There's a lot of different places where you can ask access consciousness facilitators. You can ask customer service. You can ask on our Facebook place. You can always ask. You'll find the info that you're looking for once you start asking.
Yeah.
And welcome to the journey.
Welcome. Yes. And the whole game begins with a question. And yeah. So what else is
Really.
possible?
What
Mm.
else is possible? Thank you, Gaia. You
Thank
you passed every test. You're
you.
good to go.
Well, it's
Thank
always a pleasure
you for this.
to be with you here and have this conversation. And thank you all for being with us. So, looking forward to play the symphony with you as well. Hmm.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.